Hello everyone, and welcome to this astrology video where I'm going to be sharing with you everything you need to know about this upcoming very powerful full moon in Aquarius that we're going to have on August 9th. And from my part of the world, it's going to happen exactly at 3:55 a.m. on August 9th. So we can also consider the night before, which is going to be the 8/8, the numerological portal of the Lion's Gate. So let's start there. Like, I know there's a lot of controversy in this virtual community about like whether or not the Lion's Gate is real. We pull cards on that with Sophie in the previous 5D news from yesterday, so go check it out if you haven't already. Sophie gave a very interesting answer, and I'm gonna give you the tea right here. So basically, she said that it's, of course, like a man-made sort of portal because we're using the numerology in order to celebrate this portal. But she said that indeed the whole heliacal rising period of Sirius from end of July until end of August is a very powerful one because we can visually see Sirius rising on like right before the sunrise on the horizon. So this period is the period where Sirius rises. She did speak about how it's helping the masses come together and demand change on a really big scale. And I thought this was a great introduction to talk about this full moon because we are having here this full moon in the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign of the people coming together of wanting freedom, wanting to rebel because we want justice, we want more equality, more human rights. And as we all know, we are moving into the age of Aquarius. So this full moon is very interesting and important. And also, it is the last full moon before eclipse season. So the next full moon in a month on exactly September 7th will be an eclipse. So meaning that, like, for me, it's like a big cleansing. Also, it's making a wide conjunction to Pluto, which is also in the sign of Aquarius. So there's this idea of this big renewal, this big initiation that we have to go through, this big cleansing of our lives that we need to do before we can step into the eclipse portal, which, as you may know already, demands some changes from our lives. So when eclipses happen, we have the eclipse season, which is usually two eclipses per eclipse season. So this is what we're going to have in September. It's like the destiny is playing a big role into, let's say, our personal evolution and our collective evolution as well, of course. So there is this idea of destined changes, fated events, fated changes, wherever we have been stagnating in our lives or preventing ourselves from changing because we're scared of being like doing the big move, whether it be professional, relationship, anything that we're holding on to because we're afraid of stepping into something new. Like the universe is making a big push in eclipse season. So that being said, this full moon right before, like the last full moon before eclipse season, is playing a big role in this big cleansing that we're all going to have to do. And there is a lot of beneficial aspects, and also there is some tougher aspects. So we're going to cover all of those. So there's this mixed bag of, let's say, good and bad to simplify everything, supportive aspects, but also let's say this tension that is building. And of course, a full moon is also a culmination of tension. We have the sun and the moon opposing each other. So already we have this idea of polarity, of tension coming to a peak at a full moon. So usually it's a very emotional time. Not so much usually in Aquarius, because Aquarius is a sign that doesn't really deal so much with emotions. It's rather intellectual than emotional. But still, it's a full moon, so we're going to have emotions. And then there is this Mars opposition to Saturn and Neptune. So I'm going to share with you, first of all, my slide, and then I'm going to cover everything else. And we're going to talk about Sirius, which is playing a big role in this full moon, which I love. So there is a lot of divine support surrounding this full moon, a lot of support in general, I would say. It's making a grand trine with air signs. So this idea of being supported by the other side, but also everybody that plays like an important role in our lives. So there's this idea of all coming together and supporting each other in this new phase, this new timeline that we're trying to build together. And stay until the end because I'm gonna show you the oracle cards for this full moon, and I'm sure you're gonna agree with me that this is a very interesting and important one. All right, so let's start here with the beautiful slide that I made for you guys. So I call this full moon coming together and wanting more freedom. So I think this sums it up. And yes, although it might seem like it's happening only in the collective, it's also happening in our personal lives because Aquarius is where also we want to feel free as an individual to express ourselves, our true nature, our unicity. I don't know if it's uniqueness or unicity, but whatever. So this is where like we're allowing ourselves to be the black sheep. And this has a lot of beauty to it. So also, please do check out 17 degrees of Aquarius, where it falls in your own birth chart. So you're going to have a complementary idea of what house is being activated for you in your own birth chart. For example, mine is in my 6th house. So there's going to be let's say a sub influence of the sixth house playing out in this full moon for me. So my 6th house of work and health, of daily routine. And it's so interesting because I didn't even think about it before doing this video, but I'm starting a juice cleanse today. I'm going to do a 3-day juice cleanse. I usually do that like at least once a year whenever I feel like there's a lot of emotions or a lot of stuff happening. And I think like the physical side really helps with this cleansing process. And I swear I didn't even plan it with this full moon, but it makes perfect sense, especially with the 6th house for me. 6th house, which is health, which is detox, which is it's a Virgo house of purifying, of letting go, and it's a full moon. So it's going to allow me to create more space. And for everybody, it's going to be a very important theme about like, where can you create more space in your life for the right frequency to come in. So let's start here. So yes, on a collective level, because we're having this Mars opposition, and Mars just entered Libra. Libra is about this sense of justice, of balance, and Mars is like rebellious. Mars demands change and wants and is not afraid of conflict, especially with this opposition with Saturn and Neptune, is like not afraid to question the previously established authorities, structures, rules. Is like, why do we have this rule? Like, why couldn't we change this already established sort of thing? So there is probably going to be attempts of controlling the population through new regulations. And I'm guessing that a lot of people is going to fiercely oppose that because we have this big opposition. I'm going to show you guys so you can have a visual here. So Mars is here in Libra and directly opposing Saturn and Neptune. So this is playing a big role in this full moon, but stay tuned because also there is this beautiful energy with the Grand Trine. And it's going to, let's say, create a momentum for people. And Aquarius is the sign of the people, the common people is Aquarius. So you and I, we are Aquarius. It's people coming together to demand change. And even there is this energy of rebellion whenever Aquarius is being involved, especially because we have Pluto not so far from this full moon. And because it's a full moon, so meaning it's a completion, it's an ending of some sort, it's a closure, and near Pluto, which is the planet of death and rebirth, we have this idea of death and rebirth of some relationships. So around this full moon, we could see definitely some relationships, acquaintances, relationship dynamics, and while some other might be born around the same time, because we have this idea of death and rebirth. But first, we're going to be more into the transformation aspect of it before things can be reborn. And there could be also culmination of online projects, which is also Aquarius, social events, networking projects, social media projects. So anything that is online that has to do with internet, online platforms, social media, new technologies, everything that is also deals with networking, being social is Aquarius in nature. So there is something in that theme that could be ending up around this full moon. So a project or anything. And that will make space for you in your life in order to create, like make room for something else that wants to be born, because then we're going to step into eclipse season, which is going to change things up a lot. So the focus around this full moon in Aquarius is going to be on relationships. So with this Grand Trine, which is like a very beautiful flowing aspects that we're having here between Pluto, Mars, and Uranus. So I know these are not usually, let's say, very rainbows and unicorn type of planets, but they are making a Grand Trine in air signs. So that means that, yes, there is this idea of change being involved, wanting, um, let's say, more equality, more change, but this is flowing together. So it means that with the support of other people, communication, fairness, there could be like very positive changes in the world, in our lives, but it's going to happen through relationships, through coming together, through being social, through empathy, being able to relate to other people's emotions and situations. So the focus will be on flowing relationships, finding ease and balance. So this is going to be very, very, very pivotal at the time of this full moon, and connecting with the right people, with like-minded souls. So Aquarius is the sign of the collective, the community, the friendship. So all of the people that surround you. And we often say that your network is your net worth. So, and not just in terms of money, but also in terms of the frequency that you surround yourself with in terms of people is going to directly influence you, what your frequency, but also what you're being able to birth into this world. So this full moon is really, really important in order to really scan everything that is part of your environment, and especially relationships. And it's a big time that has a lot of healing potential also for a lot of relationships, but also some people that are surrounding you. Maybe you're going to be like, oh, maybe that's not helping me reach whatever goal, or like frequency wise, it's not really helping me. So either there is going to be a change in the dynamic of the relationship, there is maybe some healing potential if the two of you agree to work on that relationship, or they could be also an ending. So I'm not going to put anything aside as a possibility here. So and also relationships, or let's say dynamics between two peoples, where there are some hidden agendas or attempts of control, unbalanced power dynamics, will become known at the moment of this full moon, because full moon reveals stuff. And we're going to have big revelations, I believe, around this full moon about what serves us. And Aquarius is all about energy. It's all about frequency. What serves us in our environment to become the best person, soul that we can be here on Earth, and what doesn't serve us. And around the full moon, we're going to have very clear ideas about what needs to be let go of. And it can also be more of an energy. It doesn't have to be a person, but it has to deal with frequency, with energy, with whatever's surrounding you, in order for you to reach, let's say, higher levels of consciousness. So because of that opposition that we've discussed previously with Mars opposing Saturn and Neptune, it's not a time to be forcing or try to force outcomes and outcomes on people, especially because there is going to be this resistance probably from the outside. And Mercury is still retrograde. It's in the last days because it's going to turn direct on the 11th, but still at the moment of this full moon, Mercury is retrograde, which means that the energy is meant to be more inward looking. So we're supposed to look at ourselves first and make the changes with our own person in order to evolve in the best way possible. It's not a time to be like, oh, you're the problem. Like, you should change that. This situation should be changing. It's time to look at ourselves. So it's not a time to be forcing things or trying to really manipulate outside circumstances. It's a time to be focusing on what can I change in myself in order to create the right environment for what I want to welcome next. Also, we could be letting go of old roles in relationships that were not authentic to our true selves. So we know that we're always playing roles, especially when we're, let's say, less aware. We've done less self work. Sometimes we can be less aware of like those roles that we're playing in order for other people to like us, to accept us, to be part of groups, to be accepted by our families, by society. So at the time of this full moon, it's time to let go and first of all be aware of those roles that we're playing, and we're all playing roles. And let go of some of those, because Aquarius, at the highest frequency of the expression of Aquarius, it's about shining your own light and not being and not twisting it or changing it or adapting it in order to fit in, right? So there's a lot of letting go around that. And also, because it's also a full moon, again, Pluto discovering secrets from the past and finally freeing ourselves. So, because also Mercury's retrograde, so, and we have Pluto retrograde, we have lots of planets already retrograde, Saturn included, Neptune. So, there could also be secrets or revelations coming in about the past that allow us to feel free to let go of a weight on our shoulders. And because we have Jupiter and Venus in an almost conjunction, which is going to be exact on the 12th of August, on the star Sirius. So we have the Earth, Sirius, Venus, Jupiter all aligning together. So this is like a beautiful blessing. And Sirius is definitely, and this party of planets and stars is definitely helping the empowerment of the people and helping the light in general in the collective gain more momentum and power. So we're really turning our side to like more positive things, more positive timelines, possibilities. And the dark side, the dark forces are really losing power, especially because Sirius is in its heliacal rising. We're being in this really big period where a lot of people are pulling these energies to manifest like a brighter future. And I also want to come back to what I said about Sophie's reading on the 8-8. She did say that it was man-made, like the 8-8 date, but she said like since so many people are pulling their energy into this big egregore that is being created for this Lionsgate portal on the 8-8, which is very close to this full moon, of course. She said that it's creating a very powerful momentum because we are putting our intentions towards changing, positive change, positive manifestation, positive timelines. So it has an effect whether you believe it or not. And I think the mistake is that a lot of people were saying that the sun aligns with Sirius on the 8-8, which is not the case. It's the sun and Sirius align in the month of July. But this year, we're having Jupiter on Sirius and plus with Venus very soon. So this is very, very beneficial. It's said that Sirius is a very, very spiritual star. and has leadership qualities also. And also, I was looking at my notes from the fixed stars, and I have also a line that says first line of the battle. So Sirius has this warrior, spiritual warrior energy to it. And I think it aligns beautifully with this full moon in Aquarius, which is all about people coming together with the help of the divine, with the help of our divine spirit teams, to really um, push aside like more negative timelines, more lower frequencies. And we're all like being spiritual warriors around this time in order to move towards the light even more. And also it says Sirius, divine inspiration and wisdom. So there is going to be lots of help from the other side, which I love. And because also this Grand Trine, the Grand Trine is all about getting the help. It's all about like divine flow of support and help and guidance. So do ask your guides, your team, in order to help you manifest whatever you want to manifest in your life. And also I wanted to say that, and again, because the next full moon is going to be an eclipse, this full moon in Aquarius on August 9th is the time for you to make space for the right frequencies to enter your life. So again, Aquarius is all about energy. It's about frequency. It's all about your surroundings, the people that surround you, your friends, your social groups, your social media even. So it's like we need to do a big cleansing of that in order to make sure that we have the right frequency, the right environment to welcome in the positive change that is just about to come. Because eclipse season oftentimes manifest new timelines, new events, new fate, destiny, and destined events, destined chapters. So now it's time to really look at what is surrounding you, your environment. What kind of content are you watching? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? And it's time to make space for positive change. And again, look at what house is 17 degree of Aquarius for you, because it's also going to give you an added component of where in your life should you really look at doing this big purifying detox, letting go of old frequencies. And again, we're gonna have like big blessing with Sirius aligning with Jupiter and Venus between this full moon, so August 8, 9, until the 12th, where it comes to an exact conjunction between Jupiter and Venus on Sirius. So this is like truly like divine blessings coming to us. So really try to use this full moon in order to create some space for those blessings, because I think they're going to be super powerful. So now let's look at the oracle cards that I pulled. So the first one is from my Children of the Cosmos oracle deck. And I have this card, which is saying you are being initiated. As if we didn't need another initiation, right? And it says we are all being initiated into higher states of consciousness, which I think this is so interesting because yes, it's a full moon. It's close to Pluto in Aquarius. And this really sounds like an initiation in the form of a big transformation. And plus, we're so close to the eclipse season. So to me, and I think also we have a lunar eclipse on top of the gate here. So that makes sense. So I think this full moon already has the energy of the eclipse that we're going to be feeling. So this is truly connected with the next lunar eclipse. And it's like we're all together climbing those stairs in order to go into that new portal, which is going to require change, and a change in frequency more than anything. So anything that is not aligned with the new frequency that you want to embody has to leave at the time of this full moon, because we're preparing for this one. The other card, and I have three. So this is the second one that I have from the, which one is it? Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. Yes. So I have this card, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name here, but it says Life Force. express your driving passion, sensual and sexual powers are increased. And to me, that makes a lot of sense because it's like, and Pluto too is this sexual power, this sexual force, this life force. So, and Mars too can be this life force. So we're like doing this big cleansing in order for us to use this life force even more, because we're powerful spiritual beings. But when we're stuck in addictions, let's say bad routines, bad habits, toxic relationships, or habits that really link us or keep us bound to the matrix, we're not able to really express our full potential. So this full moon is about letting go of those frequencies to really liberate this life force and allow us to really step into more of our higher selves, more of like the unique soul that we're here to express. So this is for sure very powerful. And the last card that I have is from the numerology guidance cards. And it says here domestic harmony. And in the booklet, it really talks about doing like needing to do a big cleansing of our relationships around us, our home, our bodies. So it really aligns with what I've been seeing with the astrology for this full moon. So it's like a preparation. We're doing a spring cleaning at the time of this full moon. And the Grand Trine is truly beautiful. So ask for help, ask for support. I think keeping in mind that we're all in this together. All of the humans are here to support each other in this big transition. And I think this full moon is going to be really marked with a lot of support from other people, support from also the unseen realms, our divine spirit guide teams. And let's just focus on that. But I think probably now you have a good idea of what it's going to be for you. And if not, just wait. I think in the coming days, you'll have a very clear knowing about that. And then on the 11th, 2 days after this full moon, we're going to have Mercury go direct. So even more clarity that comes into play there. So I wish all of you a beautiful, beautiful full moon in Aquarius. And also for the people who are not so much aware of the house placements, their own birth chart, and want to connect those videos that I'm making for new moons and full moons with their own personal astrology, I think this is a great place to start. If you'd like to get your own personalized birth chart, I'll make sure to put the link down below. And so this is a digital art print in the color of your choice featuring your own personalized birth chart. And you can also, this is like, you're going to have only one in this lifetime. So I think this is very important for you to get to know, because this is truly the blueprint of what you're here to accomplish, of your possibilities, of like your soul's expression in this lifetime. And it comes also with a 15 to 20 pages booklet, PDF, that also explains your most important alignment and placements in your own birth chart. And also you can follow along with all of those videos and look at your birth chart every time to see what are we talking about. And also there's a 10% off discount code with the word Jupiter. So thank you everybody for watching. I wish you the most beautiful full moon, and I'll see you very soon. Bye everyone.